Hi, Price. I know it's an unusually late start for me. Usually I start it much earlier than this. It looks like my cat is walking on the rocks. That's kind of funny. Hey, babe. Random cat. Well, it's not random to me. It's random probably to y'all. Random is perspective. I know it sounds probably like something I've thought way too much into, but I, over the years, came to the conclusion that random is a perspective. If you see someone streaking across a football field naked, to you that is random. Him, he probably planned this, at least to some degree. Anyway, so hello, Optic Racer. How are you? Meow meow. Got a little stressed out. Almost Princess Diana's accident is more. Wow, that's kind of awful. Why would you want to watch Princess Diana's car accident? That's terrible. I mean, it was all. I remember it being all over the news. I was like 16 or 17. Some thin walls. There's no coffee. Strangely quiet. I've been cleaning all day. Your cat's adventurous. Not sweet old Bella. She's a pretty calm little girl. Once in a while she gets a little hyper. She's kind of old, but she gets a little hyper. She'll run up and down the hall, and then she'll like attack the step that has carpeting. It's pretty cute. Hi, Sith Lord. Felt a little stressed. Now, usually by this time I would have like called my like crisis counselor thing guy and like talk to him. I actually have not. Here, let me send it to you. No, don't. Wait, send me pictures of like your house being clean. That's fine. Don't. I've seen the accident, the pictures and shit from Princess Diana's car accident. I don't need to see that. I was about to say I've been feeling some anxiety. I don't need to see negative shit like that. It's fucked up. Anywho, it's like my dude though. I mean, like I saw that when I was like 16, 17. I remember what it looks like. I don't need to see that shit. My mom was like a huge fan of hers, so my mom was like, I mean, she wasn't like crying or nothing, but she was like, "Oh my god," you know. I mean, which fair enough. It's fucking awful. Yeah. Hey, Slasher. Yeah, tomorrow I I think is my first day of counseling, or it's maybe like the preliminary thing where you like meet. I think there's like a counselor, like a co-counselor or some shit. I don't know. I talked to some lady, so that was sort of the impression I got from it. Either way, so I almost feel bad for them. Like, I wonder how much I should like unpack on them in one day. Like, should I give them backstory, or be like one of those movies where like we do flashbacks? Because usually I'm telling a current story, but like if necessary, I'll like give a flashback to like something that's relevant to, and then come back. Sometimes I do that. Like a really strange Tarantino film, kind of, you know. So I don't know. I might just ask him like, so do you want to know how I've been for like the last couple of months, or do you really want me to just like completely unpack this shit all right here, right now? Like, I'll give him the option because I'm assuming even therapists need therapists, and yeah. Hello, Bianca Zombie. Wait, yeah, Bianca Zombie, not Bianca fighting the zombies. When did the change happen? Right? Is it? What's my name? Sith Lord. How's your documentary going? It is actually going fairly okay. So I didn't get a lot of footage. Like the part I thought I was going to have to refilm, I actually didn't. So I looked at the footage and I can actually hear it. This is my tablet. It'd still be your account though, wouldn't it? But you know what? All the same, welcome. Oh, hope not. We gotta keep Bianca for the fighting, helping to fight zombies. Gonna have a stream attempt in a bit. Noise. We'll like stream snipe, go over and visit, give you likes. I'll encourage people to do so. I mean, I can't make them do it, but I will encourage. Yes, we will. Excuse me. But anywho, Bianca turns. Anyway, but oh wait, hold on. What country is that? Is that on Loch Ness? Uh, it is one of the places they filmed Outlander. One of the it might be like what's supposed to be in the show is called Fort William, even though I'm not actually sure which place this actually. I'm not used to it from this angle. Like they've usually filmed indoors in a lot of it, but I looked up Outlander scenery, and so I was like, "Ooh, I like this castle. Fuck yeah!" So that's what we've got today. Zombies are so overused in the use Highlander. No, Outlander. It's got a fair amount of kilts, inappropriate sex scenes, and time travel. I am here for the kilts and the time travel. Scotland, yes, yes. I don't know where in Scotland. I just looked for the imagery and found a picture I liked. Hello, deranged lunatic. Looks like he's changed his name too. Everybody's changing their shit on me. Fuck. What's happening? But just created a new account for the new tablet. Okay, that's fair. Back to fights is on. Hey, Trap. Hey, what are you doing up so late? How are you? Like an hour. Highlander was filmed. Parts of Highlander probably was filmed in Scotland, to be fair. So that's a valid observation. I mean, I haven't looked, but I mean, they were supposed to be kind of Scottish, and the scenery looked right. But there's a few places that can look like this. But yeah, it's like it's not. I forget you're in. All right, I guess I keep forgetting that you're in California, Trap, because like the impression most people get from people in California, you're nice. So, like, well, actually, most of the people I meet on here that are from California are actually pretty cool. People say Braveheart was mostly filmed in Scotland. I actually do not know. Like some part, there are probably certain parts that would be like it depends. Like if there's a particular landmark or something that is unique to that area, they might film there. But a lot of times they will film like, let's see, give an example, like Denmark, and the story will be set in Scotland, but maybe because Denmark will give them a better price for like filming and the little permit to film and do all this stuff, they might get a better price in Denmark, so they'll film in Denmark, but the movie will be set in like Scotland. Like it's kind of how that works. I know it's not much of a secret life, but like I'm determined to finish the damn thing. Anyway, I know it feels like we're next door neighbors, dude. It does. It really does. I mean, because like, so often I forget. Well, I so want to go full kilt with no draws if I visit Scotland. Well, first off, you're probably gonna have to not say draws. Like you've got to be Southern if you say draws. You gotta be. I'm surprised they didn't cast Sean Connery in Braveheart since he's from Scotland. A lot of people in Braveheart lost, and you can't have Sean Connery lose. Probably why. That's my guess. And besides, just because someone's from Scotland doesn't mean you automatically gotta like make every movie with no underwear for the. I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to get into this conversation. Full kilt, hang out. Well, if you got a kilt that comes down to like here, you probably be okay because they have like those. I don't remember what they're called. And if there's anybody Scottish in the audience, they are going to hate me. But like they wear those like pouches. I always call them Scottish fanny packs, which is probably not good because a fanny, like here, like we would consider a fanny pack to be those pouches here, and your fanny is your butt. But like in Ireland and England and probably Scotland, your fanny is your hoo-ha, your girl parts. And so you can imagine how weird it is that, like if they hear you say the word fanny pack, they think you have like a cooter pack or something. But I call it like a Scottish fanny pack because I actually cannot remember what the term for it actually is. But it helps weigh things down. It's got some weight to it, so that way your skirt doesn't just go all Marilyn Monroe in the first breeze, Hey, Bella. You sneaky girl. When'd you go over there? What? You're looking at me like you're judging me. What? What'd I do? Fine. Be that way. You would so go commando under the plaid. I think it's as long as you don't try to like expose yourself. That's pretty much the way it kind of goes. Oh, I have a very positive impression of most of the people I've met in California. Very few cannabis hate. There's more. There is more to life than whether or not someone likes cannabis. Philip Blair. Really, a lot of the U.S. Americans are pot Scottish, myself included. Same, same. I found this out recently. I had no idea I had part Scottish in me, but like I roared right through like Ancestry.com. Just leaves flying fucking everywhere. Because if you've ever been to Ancestry.com, you know they got little leaves as a hint. Leaves everywhere. And so, like, the side of the family that I thought was Irish turns out is Scottish. And probably Irish too, but, like, yeah. It's a fucking orchard. It's not even a family tree. It's a fucking orchard. Holy crap. But anyway, so, like, the side I thought was Irish is Scottish. And the side that I thought was English and a little bit Irish is English, fucking English, woof, and Irish from Donegal. And I'm like, dude, like, there's even like a Townley Hall, and on the Scottish side, there's like a few lairds. Like, no shit. I was like, dude, really? And think I have a Jacobite in the family, bruh. So that's pretty cool. Which I would not have known what a Jacobite was had I not watched Outlander. So binge watching like 3 times in a row, all of like 5 seasons of that, totally helped me with that. Because I just really like that show. There's some scenes in there I had fast forward because some of it was a little fucked up. Like, but let's see. So did your plants get the extra protein? No, they didn't. Well, oh my god, the look on his face though. Did you see it? He's just like got his hands under his glass. He's like, oh my god, like a poor guy. Like, he's already got kind of reddish tones to his skin. He's a ginger, as you can tell. But, like, his face was redder than his hair at that point. It was marvelous. Now, before I start campaigning for governor, I probably will take that video down or privatize it. But, yeah. So, no, we didn't test it out. I just watered them today. Like I said, they're supposed to sprout in like 2 weeks. And so it's been more than 2 weeks. But I also realized my mistake because I've read up on it before, so either I missed something or I forgot it. Apparently, you're not supposed to like bury the seeds. You're supposed to kind of sprinkle them on top so they can get sunlight. And I didn't know that, so I'm kind of like forking through it really carefully, trying to dig the seeds back up, you know. And so now, like for the most part, they're up. Now there is a plant that's like this tall. I don't know. It's so early on. I can't tell if that's the plant, like one of the plants that are germinated and is actually growing, or like some outside like plant or seed like flew off and landed there. Johnny Depp cogs you smoke. I have no idea what Johnny Depp smokes. Oh, cigs. Sorry. His face was 50 shades of confused surprise. Dude, it was that poor thing. It was so funny. Like, God, I think he's like 27 now. And we've been neighbors so long. I remember when he was like 15, 16, and his dad lived next door. Now he has that house, and his dad like moved to another state. But so God, oh man, I may have known him almost half his life actually. Hello, Ship Life. How are you doing? And welcome. You look new, so extra welcomes to you. Everybody say hello. Hello. But yeah. Oh, you were asking me about the cigarettes. Sorry, I got distracted. So, this green screen thing kind of fucks shit up when you try it, and it's white, so it shouldn't even like. Okay, I can do it in the kind of. I'll find an angle that works. Okay, maybe back, tilt, adjust. Okay, you know what? It's closed. There we go. House or trailer park? What is a house or trailer park? I didn't know you could grow your own cannabis in Oklahoma. Actually, yes. If you have a medical card, you can grow your own marijuana, but it can't be more than a certain amount. But I don't have a medical card, and I'm not growing marijuana. I have no problem with people who do. It's just not my thing. And saying trailer park or house. So I guess you're asking me. So I live in a house. Like I don't want to say real house because like that might sound insulting to people who live in trailers because there's some actually I've seen some really nice trailers from like. I mean, I know it sounds white trash when I say really nice double wides, but dude, some of them are like fucking nice. So like, I'm not trying down them, but no, like this never had wheels on it or nothing. Like this is like legit found concrete foundation, cinder blocks, the all the things that make a house officially a house and not a trailer house, I guess. Anyway, I used to smoke those. Man, I've never. Anytime I go to a place and I buy the cigarettes, they're like, "Oh man, they sell out quick. A lot of people buy them." I'm like, "Who? I never see anybody smoke these ever." And Midwest City is not. It's not a big town, but it kind of is at the same time. It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain. But Cali is awesome because you just go out and buy weed. Well, if you have a medical card here, you can do the exact same. I'm more of an opium guy myself. I'm kind of with you on that. Well, I've never had opium, but I'm kind of with you on that because, like, proper, obviously, dosage matters. But for God, what since 5000 BC, opium was used for all kinds of medicinal purposes: sleeplessness, depression, nervousness, body aches, toothaches. I mean, you name it. Like in careful doses, opium was like the best thing, until we got antibiotics. Antibiotics is, I think, in modern times is, or as close to as modern times, depending on what you call it, is like one of the best inventions because like if you don't have an infection, you have less pain, so that's a good thing. But yeah, they kind of made I like I said, I've never had opium. I'm not opposed to ever trying it, but I myself am not. Like it's Oklahoma. Like I don't think there's any place to do that. Like here, this is like the southern Midwest. It's Oklahoma, so it's kind of Midwest, but it's kind of southern. And like I saw some comedian joke earlier, but I think he's actually right. The like people in the Midwest, they actually save their painkillers from when they actually aren't hurting. And a lot of people in the crowd applauded, and I'm like, oh, ho, ho. A lot of people give themselves away there. My middle and high school years were fun. Were in California. Fun times. Oh, very good. You gotta do a stakeout more and see who buys the cigs. Well, I have to be like inside the store because people come out of the store and they're gonna put them in their pocket, put it in their purse. It's gonna look weird. Can't do that. I have a license to grow cannabis too, but I've also never grown my own. Cannabis prescriptions include a license to grow your own, a discount on taxes and recreational. Here it's not that fancy. Basically, you just like if you can show proper, and it's actually relatively easy, at least from what I can tell. You have to get a medical license, but I mean, if you can show that you have depression, anxiety, uh, like like my guy, he's got a scar on his neck about this long and about that wide from a surgery they had to do because apparently in a car accident, he was not driving, mind you. In a car accident, he wasn't feeling good, so he kind of had his head rested because they were parked at the time. His friend decided to start the car up and head home, and he wasn't feeling good, so he was leaning his head on the dash. So when they crashed, it broke his neck, but it broke it in such a small way that when they first did the first X-ray or two, they didn't quite see it, but it still felt like electrical pain and all this. So then they finally found it, like after I think 3 months of him hurting. I can't remember, it was before I met him, but you get the general idea. 3 months is a long time when you hurt like fuck. Anyway, so all he had to do is pretty much just show them the freaking scar, and they're like, here's your card. So, like, it's really, really easy to get a medical card. It actually is. You pretty much just, it varies, but on average, you just pay like $100 to, a doctor that deals in that sort of thing and be like, hey, yeah, I've got severe depression, this, that, and the other, whatnot. I'm like, all right. And there you go. Talks to you a little bit, and that's it. And I think you can have like 5 or 6 plants to yourself that you can grow, I think. Like, I can't remember because like, it kind of doesn't involve me. But Opiates should be decriminalized. It's great for cough suppressants. Helps. Um, I kind of agree. Like, okay, the opiate situation is a very complicated situation because, all right. So if we're feeling frisky, I'll try to make this backstory research thing as quick as I can. So, all right. So someone experimented. Now, where they got heroin, I don't know, but we're not going to ask questions. Anyway, so they had two cages, and each one had like about 4 mice or something, and it had food, water. One cage had like little toys and little wheel and little fun things for them to do, and the other one not as much. And both had equal amounts of heroin, and like there's like 2 water bottle things, so like clean water, heroin water in both. So like they wouldn't just be drinking heroin all day. But and they noticed that the mice who had were able to play and have fun. I've laudanum at the hot. They very rarely give anyone laudanum anymore. It's very, very rare. Usually they'll give you morphine or they'll give you Dilaudid, which is synthetic morphine, which works on me. Morphine does not, Dilaudid does. It's the darndest thing. I found that out the hard way when pain wouldn't stop. So, anyway, but I have heard that they still do prescribe laudanum occasionally. That's very, very rare. Like my dad had cancer. They gave him morphine pills. So maybe it varies on the doctor. Maybe it varies on the state. I'm not entirely certain. Anyway, so the mice that had all the toys and had more fun and they played together more often used way less heroin than the mice that were in a cage that didn't have much of way of toys, and they seemed more depressed. They weren't active. They would get high more often. And the theory on this and what they were coming to the conclusion was is a lot of times the reason why, other than the fact that people get addicted to just not hurting, because if you have back pain and you take medicine, you don't want to hurt, so you want to keep taking it because you hurt. But also like depression, which like at least in the United States, but I'm assuming in a lot of places, mental health issues is a serious, like it in itself is an epidemic. And if people are depressed or unhappy, they try to self-medicate, whether it's with pills or alcohol. Everybody's got their thing, everything that whatever suits them. And getting proper mental health care can be very difficult, which leads to people self-medicating, which often will lead to people having an opiate crisis and getting pills to try to escape physically. Because if you're unhappy enough, your emotional pain can actually manifest into physical pain. Your body just feels tensed up all the time. Your muscles will hurt. Your body just starts to kind of fall apart the longer you're unhappy. And I think so. Decriminalizing opiates is a very tricky situation because there are going to be people out there who are going to overdo it. People overdo it with over-the-counter medicines too. So, like, I think we need to find and work on the root cause of why people have addiction, not just the genetic predisposition, because you can't do anything about that. But there are some countries that actually, instead of just imprisoning their drug users, they actually try to help them, give them counseling, try to find the source of why they're unhappy, why they're depressed, why they have a hard time leaving the house, why they don't know how to interact, or help them interact with people to feel more complete. You would probably see a drop in the opiate problem because pills do what pills do. It's people who decide to take them or not, and sometimes they feel like there isn't much other choice. So I don't know about decriminalizing opiates, but finding a different way to handle it, because we're filling the prisons full of people who need help. Something is wrong. It's not I'm just taking pills for the fun of it. There's something, a more deep-seated problem that these people are needing help with, and they don't know how to get it. They don't know how to ask, perhaps. Perhaps there's no resources available to help them. And like, not everything can be cured with this. I understand. Some people just straight up want to be high all the time to the point they're dead, and there's just no helping. Everybody's different. But the countries from I wish I could, like it's easy to Google, but the countries who have chosen to help counsel people who have drug problems instead of just punishing them and throwing them in jail, and of course they have to go cold turkey, which is very harsh on the body because a lot of a lot of addiction is in your mind. Some of it is the body because the body is recovering and trying to regain its equilibrium and or not being on a substance, but it's emotionally painful for people to go through withdrawals. I'm lucky I've never had that issue because was not always a straight laced person in my 20s. I'll be honest, but I was very lucky I did not suffer withdrawal problems. But I've heard horrible stories about people who have, and it can cause all kinds of issues. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. Yep, a lot of unqualified people have been certified as mental health. It's because, well, they're unqualified. Some of them are unqualified, and some just. Mental health is a very tricky thing. There's no one size fits all, and every person is different. And the thing that it takes is, I think, trying to be understanding, um, and years of experience. Some things you can't read from. I mean, you can read from a book to get a general idea, but unless you actually interact with people who are addicted, people who are depressed, people who are unhappy, going cold turkey kills Amy Winehouse. I did not know that going cold turkey killed her. I knew she had gone off drugs, and then the few pictures of her before she died, she was badly thin, like she was back on drugs. Either way, drugs did play a part, one way or another, in Amy Winehouse's death. And that is a shame. That is a shame for it to happen to anyone, especially as young as 27. Because I believe they're a member of the 27 Club, because apparently that's a thing. The way I see it, the people who create the drug war example, they limit oxys. People who won't normally would do or heroin are now doing more dangerous, stronger drugs. If they ban fent and heroin, I'm not sure I quite caught what all you said, but I think fentanyl, like, okay, so I've never been in pain probably at a level where I needed fentanyl. I had severe stomach pain one time when I went to almost Mexico. Like, it was a part of Texas. It was like so, like, past Odessa. Like, it was like far southwest. And like, I don't know if it was food poisoning or what happened, but oh Lord in heaven, my stomach hurt so bad. And the hospital gave me fentanyl, and I was like, whoa, 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 don't give me much of that shit, because that shit scared the crap out of me. I know more about it now than I did then, but I still knew it was scary shit. And I'm like, whoa, aren't we? Whoa, can we maybe, No, they're like, well, be careful, we won't give you a lot. I'm like, okay. That was fucking terrible. I don't know how anyone could take fentanyl. That stuff is. Oh, as the medicine started to wear off a few hours later, I was shivering. And remember, we're like down southwest. We're like, we're coming up this way, so we're coming up like through like I don't know. It was definitely warm though, and I was freezing cold. I was shivering uncontrollably. Even when it's snowing outside, and I go outside, I can control shivering. Like, I cannot shiver. I couldn't control this shiver. I was so cold. It was horrid. It took me. I didn't understand what was happening. It took me. It was sometime. I think it took me a couple of days to realize it was the fentanyl they had given me that had caused that reaction. So no, yikes. Like, why they didn't just give me Dilaudid or something much more minor? I don't understand. Like, I don't know why they went straight for the fucking fentanyl. Like, I mean, if half my body had been on fire, maybe. But that was not the case. So they overdrugged me, in my opinion. And so that was quite scary. 10 like hype, nice. And one, if you don't care, you can't be an effective clinician. I absolutely agree with you, Philip Blair. I absolutely do. There is times when you and I do not agree, but I absolutely agree with you on this. Because this is a job about helping people. How can you put your heart into actually helping people if your heart actually is not in it? I mean, what a waste of years of schooling and learning. Now I understand that some people run into patients they just cannot deal with, but that And that's when you do like, all right, let me see if I can refer you to someone else. You do that, but it makes it very difficult. Alcohol withdrawal is what killed Amy Winehouse. Sometimes alcohol withdrawal is fatal. I, I guess it depends on the person. Like, I mean, I know that a lot of people who've gone through withdrawals, they felt like they were going to die. They probably wanted to die because they felt so bad. But I guess if your body is not healthy to start with, the shock that your body can go through with withdrawals could possibly onset a heart attack or something else, and it could cause you to die. So I don't rule out that that is technically possible, I think. Yeah, it sounds like overkill for a stomach ache. Yeah. Well, it was a bad stomach ache, to be fair. It wasn't necessarily the stomach. It was like around the gallbladder or liver area. It felt like I had hot, sharp glass trying to come out. The pain was, but seriously, Dilaudid would have been fine. But like I said, that's just a synthetic morphine. They didn't have to go for the big guns and give me fentanyl. Like that scared the crap out of me. I was like, and then once they gave it to me, like I was okay. And I was like, my respiratory system felt like it kind of went down for a little bit, which is normal. It goes down for like 5 minutes maybe if someone gives me morphine, Dilaudid, things of that family. And then I can feel my respiratory and everything come back up. It just feels like it's sinking in the chest for a second. And the pain, and it was effective. I mean, the pain was gone. I'll give it that. I mean, the pain, it gave rid of the pain. But man, the feeling when that medicine wore off, my whole body felt, I, I felt like I was laying out in the snow, but worse. Like, it was bad. So if you ever go to the hospital, unless you were like seriously got some serious degree burns on your body or something, like try to opt not for fentanyl. Okay, try not to get that. I highly recommend against it. Like I don't know how anybody can get addicted to that. That is a horrible feeling. I really feel like sometimes I just go for overkill. Like, hey, let's see how strong we can make this. There is a limit because if you take certain medication and you take it for too long, you get used to it to some degree. So you got to move up the ladder and up the ladder, and but I think they're encouraging this too much. So there is ends up being a dependency, and then sometimes you get dependent on some really hard stuff, and it's hard to work your way back down. And that's another issue where stopping cold turkey as Philip Blair can be very, very bad. Hello, ancient one. Hi, Isaac. How are you, sweetie? In the United States and Canada, they don't teach psychology students about the importance of until second year. Until second year. I mean, I'm glad that they teach it at all, but if you're going into psychology, you're there to try to help people. So, I mean, I really think this is something they should be teaching right alongside it from the very get-go. Um, I mean, I've never gone through these classes, so I can't myself personally attest to what you say, but I will take your word for it until I know different. LOL, Fent always used to give me goosebumps, and the pain was like Thanos sniffing his finger, and all the pain would go away. And you had medical grade stuff. The street version is different, I think. They have a street version of this? Well, okay, they probably have a street version of everything. That's just sort of not my thing, so I didn't know. Like, I don't even know what fentanyl is made out of. I don't know if it's like extra synthesized morphine or what it is. I'm half tempted to actually look it up to see what's actually in it, but I kind of half joke, but I'm also half serious. I don't like to have anything that can be questionable in my internet history because someone might get the wrong idea. Because I'm not trying to make fentanyl. Like honest, well, I can't say I'm the most drug-free person. But I feel like I am because I don't even drink alcohol anymore. So I don't smoke weed because it gives me anxiety. I don't drink alcohol anymore. Like as far as technically a drug, nicotine and caffeine. And I am prescribed Klonopin for anxiety. But as far as elective and unprescribed, caffeine and nicotine. And if I could actually, not have anxiety attacks, I'd be perfectly happy just getting rid of my Klonopin altogether. I'm actually not I'm actually not hooked on it. I actually tried to go days where like let's see, because I'm prescribed 2 a day. I try to get away with trying to have one. Like, let's see if we can get through the day with just one and not have an anxiety attack. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like the idea. Like humorously speaking, drugs should be for fun. I'm kidding. I'm not endorsing that. I'm being goofy. But the idea that I feel like I'm basically tethered to a medicine bottle is very depressing. I feel like my life orbits around this. Like, we went to Tulsa today to do some of the filming. I actually got a really cool short interview with a lady who runs like this like mini museum for the Tulsa riots, and lots of people have spoken to her. She was able to tell me some of the stories that she's been told. So I actually got some spicy tidbits there that I haven't seen in. Hold on, the cat's trying to get out. All right, girl. There you go. There you go, sweetheart. Oh, all right. There you go, baby. All right. She's kind of an old kitty, so you gotta like wait for a second while she wiggles her way out. Anyway, but I'm doing well. Arguing with my hospital over dude. You had an ambulance like bill that's like under 1,000. Dude, lucky you. I've had to drive myself to the hospital, get an IV bag, and they charged me like $1,500. So, you have an ambulance bill that's under 1,000. It's pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still inflated bullshit because it didn't take no $1,000 worth of gas to get you there. So that is still bullshit. So, like, definitely fight the good fight, my man. But I'm just impressed because I've never had a hospital bill that low. And like I said, usually I drive myself to the hospital or have someone do it if I'm really bad. It just kind of depends. Part of the reason is because if, say, you drive yourself, there's no limit what medicine they can give you because if they think it can cause drowsiness or impair your ability to drive, they can't give it to you because they either have to keep you there till you're not under the influence anymore, but they can't risk let you drive by yourself. So it's always good to have someone there with you so that way they can drive you home. And that's why. That's what they explained to me, which is fair because I would probably, for the most part, be able to drive just fine. But I'm not everyone. Not everyone is the same, and they need to be cautious. So I don't do any drugs or alcohol anymore. I went cold turkey on everything. It was freaking horrible. I am so sorry. I am sorry that was hard, but I am very impressed with you for sitting through that. That's definitely one of those times where you just like, let everybody know, you know what, don't bother me. Don't ask me to go nowhere. I'm gonna sit on this couch and I'm gonna just wait this out. Sometimes you gotta. And so I'm super proud. I'm sorry it was hard. I'm sorry you had a hard time with that. But like I hope hopefully your life in general feels better. Personally, helped me with PTSD just learning about Carl Rogers. Not sure who that is. It's healthier to ease off gradually so your body can adjust. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. That is a good point. It definitely helps if you have like a friend that you can trust to make sure that you don't overdo it. Like kind of like no, you had that an hour ago. No. Sometimes it's good to have a friend slap shit out of your hand. Me, someone needs to stop slap. Someone needs to slap milkshakes and eclairs out of my hand. That's what they need to do. I need a personal assistant just for that. It's easier yeah, okay. If you want to get rich, start an ambulance company. Dude, wait, can you do that? Is that a thing? Like, can you? Like, I know that's a weird question, but like, I would like the idea of that, but I would like not even charge people nearly as much money. Like, it'd be partially based on the services they receive, you know. But dude, that actually, you know what? I'm gonna Google that. I may not like read into it right now, but I am going to look up, and so I can read later. Starting my own ambulance service. I am curious about that. Register your business, apply for a business license, get a HIPAA permit. I don't know what it takes to get a HIPAA permit. Raise capital, which means get money. Well, okay. Order for vehicles, hire workers, maintenance team. Okay, well, I think some of that can be consolidated because I assume, like, well, you could probably have like maybe one or two vehicles and not necessarily having an entire fleet. But we'll look into that because that sounds cool, and I would charge people way fucking less. Especially in this little metro area here, there's like 2 hospitals within like 5 miles of each other for like the Midwest city area, and I live just like 8 miles north of like the middle of Midwest city. So like one or two, yeah. Well, it's also something I didn't use. A friend drove me there. Oh shit! So they're trying to charge you for an ambulance ride you didn't even get? Oh fuck them. I would like take my finger, like put it on the copy machine like this, and just send them a Xerox of my middle finger and explain to them at the bottom, make sure you got space at the bottom sooner. Like I didn't get ambulance service, motherfucker. Pictures or it didn't happen. Like I'd be a dick. Yeah, I should have weaned off, but I'm like 2 years clean. Good job. That is super awesome. It felt like every minute was an hour. Man, time sometimes is relative. You know, when time flies when you're having fun. The opposite is also true. In my experience, when someone is wrong on cannabis, they're wrong on everything that has to do with healthcare, education, and criminal justice. I You could be right. Well, okay, with the healthcare, I can kind of sort of see it. Like, well, they're probably not wrong in everything that has to do with healthcare, education, and criminal justice. Because, all right, I can see where the healthcare situation, and I mean, I see where those can tie in. Because if you're teaching your like kids that marijuana is going to kill you and is going to make you kill people and do shit, that's bad That's bad drug education. It's terrible. Um, Healthcare, like yeah, a lot of times or not so much now, but like used to, if you had weed in your system, they figured whatever was wrong with you was because of the weed, and they wouldn't treat you at the same as like something as if you didn't have it. Um, the criminal justice system, yes, that definitely has an issue because it's legal, but it's only kind of legal. So, like, I think in Oklahoma you can have an ounce, maybe two. Again, I don't participate in the weed thing, so I don't know. But we'll say 2 ounces for the fuck of it, just to throw a number out there. And if you, excuse me, even for the medical license, if you get caught with 3 ounces, you can end up in jail or ticketed. So yes, that does add to problems with the criminal justice system because it doesn't mean that person is a dangerous society. It does not mean that person is going to go home and beat his wife or she's going to beat her husband because spousal abuse can go both ways. Um, yeah, and so it causes our jails to be filled up with people who are potheads. The biggest danger they are is to chocolate cake. That is the biggest danger they are. And yet we have people who, because of jail overcrowding, dangerous people are allowed out. And this is fucking ridiculous. This is so bass awkward. Like, you really care more about a plant than getting those rape tests tested and convicting the person. Like, that takes longer to get done than it does to just throw somebody in jail over weed. That is insane. There are people who have gone to jail for years because of weed. But if you rape someone, you might do a year, you might get 3 months for good behavior. That's a fucking problem. I feel like that is a serious priority issue here. And it all has to do with lobbyists, because pharmaceutical companies are one of the biggest lobbyists. And Chris Rock said it best. They don't want you hooked on your drugs. They want you hooked on their drugs. And then even if you get overhooked on their drugs, they'll punish you anyway. But everybody at a endangered chocolate cake. It's true. It's true though. Or well, some people don't like chocolate. Weirdly enough, it's worse than the pineapple pizza situation. If someone doesn't like chocolate, now if you're allergic to it, you're exempt from this completely. I understand. But if you are not allergic to chocolate and you don't like chocolate, I find you strange. So I have to draw a line somewhere. In my experience with someone, okay. So it's possible that the people you're talking to felt blood when you said they're wrong on everything is because I'm kind of in the middle person. Like, I'm kind of not red or blue, I'm kind of purple. But a lot of times you probably encounter people that are strictly one or the other, and they see no in between on most things. And that is also another problem, separate problem, but a problem with people. And so that's probably who you're running into. Because most of the people who would half agree and half not probably just don't engage in an argument one way or another with you. They're probably like, he's kind of right. And scroll along. It's the people who are hardcore one way or the other that will pick the fucking fight with you. So that gives you the impression that people who are uneducated in cannabis are wrong about everything. Because there's a good chance they are uneducated about a lot of things. Let's be fair. Uh, they don't understand our human species. Well, yeah, because they don't seem to also realize that even animals will eat things. Some animals will eat fermented fruit so they can feel intoxicated. Certain animals will chew on certain plants to feel a buzz, to feel high, because it's an enjoyable feeling. And it's even naturally occurring in the animal kingdom, but the animals don't punish the other animals for doing this. We're the only species that tries to do that, and we punish each other for it, and we treat each other badly for it. And like, I'm not saying we should treat each other like animals per se, but sometimes we treat ourselves worse than animals. And another problem with humans. Let's see. I feel like I missed something because Philip Blair said that's fucked up. So I need to go find out what's fucked up. Well, it's also for something I don't use. A friend drove me there. Oh, okay, yes, yeah, you get charged with shit you didn't even. Yeah, that is fucked up. Sorry. All right. Anyway, danger. I mean, politicians, teachers, clinicians, doctors, therapists, police, and other people who should really know reality about cannabis and human behavior. Okay. All right. You gotta picture this like a pyramid. Okay. This is about the only way I can possibly explain the shit show that you are talking about. Not that your grievances are valid, but the situation in general is a shit show. So, all right. So we got our pyramid, and at the very top, it started a long time ago with them coming up with all kinds of drug laws. Most of our drug laws are actually based on racism. This is true. Opium was okay for everybody to use except for Asians. Ironically, they're the ones that brought it over, though. So we benefited from them, but then we fucked them over. Jazz cabbage. Some expert who was a racist said that jazz cabbage might make white people want to do things with non-white people. Clutch our pearls. What would the neighbors say? Anyway, so in this pyramid, this propaganda happened. And then, of course, you got the reefer madness because they want to perpetuate the propaganda that we've been fed. So it comes down, and so this is what we learned for generations. So cops were raised to believe this. The American Medical Society was, told this was fact and everything. And then when you go downward this way, the American Medical Association taught its doctors, its nurses, its clinicians this. And then, of course, cops tell their children and other cops and everybody else, and they have these lame-ass DARE programs, which DARE has actually gotten better. I actually ran into some people that represent the DARE program in front of PetSmart. I didn't expect it either, but I'll get to that. They're actually helping with anti-bullying and a lot of other things, and they're even offering support chat sites and chat lines for kids who are bullied. And I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, they took marijuana off their curriculum. So DARE is actually upgraded and improved and has evolved. It's very nice. But anyway, so when your American Medical Association, who's damn near in charge of telling everybody else below them, doctors, nurses, hospice workers, this, that, the other, and then you got your cops who tell, the citizens and this, and it spreads all this disinformation all the way down the pyramid to us at the bottom. And that is the pyramid of the shit show. The best way I can describe it. Yes, the ban on cannabis was political, but it was racist political bullshit. Because politics, all right, something that helps people get elected is fear. Like, they have to create a boogeyman, something for you to be afraid of. Like, vote for me, I'll protect you from this, and I'll protect you from that, even if they have to make up a boogeyman to do it. And it could be, oh, you can't, watch out for the Chinese, like, back in, like, when they were, like, bringing opium over, like, we were, like, 150 years ago, oh, they can't be trusted, watch out for them. And, there's black people, oh, you can't watch out for them, And so there was always a boogeyman, there was always something. And so when that started tapering off and not being quite as bad, it was still bad for a while. But it was the same old song and dance, so people were used to it. So they had to find a new song and dance. So drugs, drugs are going to kill your children. They're going to make them do all kinds of things. And so, getting people scared. They're like, oh, the children, I think of the children. And so, yeah. So, they use this propaganda, whether they believed it or not. They use this to help get elected. Like, I think it was since the 70s, they actually knew that medical marijuana, or marijuana in general, could help people. But people like Nixon didn't want that. He helped actually launch the drug war. Now, we probably, if y'all are as old as I am, y'all remember Ronald Reagan talking about crack is whack and this. Well, yeah, crack's not good for you. I don't see a really good medicinal use for it. I'll be fair. But, but the start of the drug war that is more or less in our lifetime could have been stopped with Nixon, and he decided, no, fuck those hippies, fuck their weed, fuck their anti-war shit. And as I got older, I started to realize, people would rather smoke a plant and not fight each other. That sounds like actually a pretty good fucking plan to me, actually. I mean, like I said, I'm not a weed person, but the concept in general sounds pretty decent to me. I think I'd rather live in that world where people would rather smoke weed than fight, personally. But now, again, political power, just like Isaac said. Absolutely, it was based on racism, yes. For over a century, oh yes, well over a century. Oof. During World War II, hemp, was promoted and encouraged with documentaries like Hemp for Victory. Yeah, and then, of course, that upset the plastic and oil company, and they absolutely had a shit fit sideways, and they lobbied it. Yeah. Pharmaceutical companies, I do believe, at least last I heard, it's a back and forth. But you got your oil companies and your pharmaceutical companies, some of the biggest lobbyists. Lobbyist is a polite way of saying whore in politics. Absolutely. So it's not about a moral compass. It's about whoever lines your pockets the best and whatever propaganda you're willing to spout for them. And that, again, is the problem. Wookie warned me. I think last time I live streamed or the time before that, because I forget what it was. Because I know I say the similar things again and again, but on the bright side, you can look at my track record and see I am fairly consistent in my points of view. Because the only thing someone may dislike more than someone who's like, well, I don't agree with their opinion, is someone who flip-flops and can't make up their mind. Neither side respects that. Neither side can trust them because fucking stand your ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you believe it, then stand your ground with it. Try to have a decent reason for it if you can. But anyway, did you know that Queen Victoria was prescribed? Well, yeah, because back when Queen Victoria, which was late 1880s, 90s, almost to 1900, yeah, cannabis was completely okay for a chemist or a pharmacist, whatever you want to call it, to prescribe you. In fact, it was in many different things. It was in cough syrups. It was in things to help you sleep. It was in lots of things. Absolutely, it was used very, very often. Yeah, it wasn't until like probably close to 20s or 30s, because I think it kind of started in the 20s, because that's about the time you started really hearing jazz coming into play, and a lot of the jazz musicians were pot smokers. You can see where this is going. Racist drug laws. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some drug laws that I find legit, like meth. You don't really need that. Bath salts. Bad idea. No. There is no medical use for that. It's not a good idea. Don't do that. But As far as stuff that is, you know, more grown than made per se, I'm a little more okay with. But technically, England introduced the Chinese to the opium because they own China. Well, yeah, England. Well, I can't remember when it started. I know that England gave up its a lot of its hold on Hong Kong back around 1992. Between 89 and 92 era. Like, remember, I was very young at the time, so like I can vaguely remember this, like vaguely. Hmm. Anyway, but I don't know if England introduced the Chinese to it because opium is a particular type of plant that grows in a particular type of climate. Um, they can be crossbred and possibly made stronger, but England, statistically, from my understanding of things, is usually not proper weather to grow opium, where uh, Southeast Asia, Afghanistan, places that are warm more consistently is a more proper environment to grow poppies. And India. Yeah. So they introduced it to them from India. Oh, okay. I actually should have had read the whole thing. That probably would have helped. Yeah. India also would have the proper climate to grow opium. Yes. So sorry I didn't read the rest of that. So good point. If I had been given a low dose cannabis twice a day instead of having Ritalin and other stimulants given to me by pushers who call themselves teachers, I'd have had a much healthier childhood. Yeah, they decided to put me on Ritalin when I was like 17, which I've had a couple of people, not a lot, but a couple of people tell me that at that age you actually I should have been on Adderall, not Ritalin. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. They're both legalized methamphetamine. So, I mean, and don't get me wrong, it worked. I was actually able to focus better and everything else. So, I mean, I quit taking it because, like, I guess even then I didn't like the idea of having to take medicine. So, fuck this. But yeah, oh yeah, the opium war. Oh yeah, that was a shit show. Norm Stamper said that as a police officer, he'd always prefer calls with people having cannabis over drinking alcohol. Every cop he's asked has felt that way. Well, yeah, because very rarely. I mean, no, it's not impossible. Obviously, again, nobody's the same. But statistically, if yeah, I mean, you can have two potheads get into a fight and there'd be a problem. But with my own eyes, my own experience, with my own eyes, I have seen someone, I've seen a few someones drink, and it's almost like their eyes change. Like they almost change shape. It's almost like I'm looking at a completely different person once the intoxication takes effect. With cannabis, I don't really see that. I see people wanting to play video games and snack on stuff. It's been 3 or 4 people. Like I said, I don't try to hang out with chronic alcoholics. Not trying to down them, but if it's somebody's a toxic situation, try not to be around it. That's kind of where I'm at. But I mean, but you can almost see their facial expression change. You can't quite put your finger. It's almost like their eyes. It's like they're a totally different personality. You can see it in their eyes change, and that's a frightening fucking thing to kind of watch. You're just like, oh boy. You're like, God, I hope I don't piss this person off. Like, yeah, with weed, probably not. They might be crabby without weed. Because reality kind of sucks. So I understand they probably want something to cushion the blow. I get that. But yeah. At most, I'm going to be worried that, like, the cheesecake's going to disappear in the middle of the night. That's, like, your biggest worry usually with cannabis. So I completely understand these cops would probably rather deal with cannabis. But what's interesting is even though, because they're there to enforce the law, but within a certain parameter, cops are able to sort of pick and choose how they handle it. I'm crabby without weed. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. But what's up? Yeah. Hey, how are you? And welcome. Just how are you doing, darling? Norm Stamper has been great indeed. Well, that's awesome. I've never heard of him, but it's always good to know there's more awesome people in the world, so that's awesome. Let's see. So, what's up? Yeah, we're basically. It started off with me being a little nervous and feeling a little anxious because, like, I think I'm the first like counseling thing tomorrow, and so then we sort of started getting into the history of racist drug laws, and that's how we got started. It's already got like a snuffly thing going, like a little herbal or something. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like I said, there's certain ones I understand. Like I really don't see a medical benefit for people having methamphetamines or bath salts or what else is out there. It's like really bad. I don't know, but coke, like I don't. I mean, they used to have like cocaine drops, like for toothaches and shit. Okay, that's fair because I don't think they had lidocaine, so I can see a medicinal use for that. But we have lidocaine and other numbing agents now, so the use for cocaine's benefits it has kind of gone by the wayside a bit. We've found other things. Hello, Geek Hero, and welcome, darling. Let's see. Norm Stanford is part of law enforcement against prohibition. Oh, that's awesome. He was a Seattle police chief in the 90s. Oh, that is cool. If I remember, I'll try to Google that. I'm a little scatterbrained, so even if something's important, I may forget it. Like 5 days ago, I like set my appointment for my therapy tomorrow because I was afraid if I didn't, I would forget. So scatterbrained. So, but I'm glad, and I really wish more cops were like that. But like, yeah, there's so much that needs to change. There's so much on all sides. Like some this is gonna be all right. Some people might consider this kind of a hot take, but this is what this channel is about. Sometimes my opinion is reasonable in your opinion, and sometimes you will consider my opinion unreasonable. But I think every police officer, if this is not, because I don't know what all the requirements are, but if it is not a requirement, it should be. Every police officer should have to go through hostage negotiation training. And it doesn't mean that you are unable to defend yourself. It does not mean that you cannot arrest someone. Don't get me wrong. But if there is some chance that you can calm everyone down, get everyone to relax, take a step back, and sort this out, I think that would help save so much trouble. It helped a lot of people. Because if everybody's calm and everybody's handling the stress, okay, this can be de-escalated. Because hostage negotiation training, from my understanding, is quite something because you're trying to deal with someone you've never met in the hopes of saving the lives of whoever they have. That's stressful. That's a lot on the line. That's not just a one-on-one interaction the cop is having. This person is having a one-on-one interaction, and it could cost lives if he fucks it up, or she. If they fuck it up, it could cost lives. And I think this is the kind of training every police officer should go through. Because if you can make something better, yes, I'm not saying don't. If someone does something wrong, don't arrest them. I'm not saying that. But if the situation can be handled calmly, and you can be like, sir, it's okay. Listen, here's the options. Like, you did this, and we can try to do this, and you have a right to a lawyer. It's always weird after they browbeat you and try to weasel as much information out of you, and then when they cuff you, then they tell you have the right to remain silent, and then you have a lawyer. I think this is something they should open up with to remind people. Not that you don't know, but it's a nice reminder that you do have the right to be quiet if you choose and get a lawyer if you feel the need to. I think this would make people feel less cornered and bullied, because when people get nervous, sometimes they stutter, sometimes they're not thinking clearly, and even telling the truth, they could look guilty as fuck because they're nervous, because we're trained to be nervous and afraid of the police. Most people are. Some people, they're not, and that's fine, but let's see. I agree with that. I think so. It might help them be more like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no matter what your stance, I think everyone could agree that police need more training. Yes. Like, it's not so much a defund the police. Let's change the way they interact with people. Like, I mean, it's really cute and it's heartwarming, like seeing little kitten videos to see once in a while a token police officer going out there and playing kickball in the street with neighborhood kids. That's a nice little piece to put out there and make people feel better. But that's not the majority. And we also have this issue that if a good cop sees something wrong and he tries to report it, he is ostracized and punished by his fellow police officers for telling the truth. At this point, this is not a police force. This is a gang. That is a gang behavior. That is a cult-like gang behavior at that point. And like, don't get me wrong, I understand having a brotherhood and a camaraderie with your fellow police officers. But if you take it to the point where you see your fellow police officer shoot somebody wrongfully and then plant drugs or guns or whatever on them, something to cover their ass, turn off their camera so nobody knows, and you say something and you're punished for telling the truth, this is a problem. This is why, even if there isn't a bunch of bad cops, there's a lot of cops who have probably turned a blind eye because to be ostracized by your fellow police officers, to be harassed and made to feel unwelcomed, possibly even like passive aggressive threatened, all kinds of stuff, on top of maybe nobody will even believe you anyway. Like that is a very hostile work environment situation. And that's going to be a hard one to try to fix in general. It really is. Like, let's see, better evaluation. Oh, hold on, let me back up. I agree, maybe more than annual. I think it depends on the person. Like, if they seem to be like a pretty even-headed person, like maybe they don't need it every 6 months or something. It just depends. Police would have less stress at work if they had training. Yes, yes. Definitely encourage them to like talk to like a therapist because they usually do that after a shooting usually, but and they probably I think they're afraid that if they say the wrong thing they might be told they're not fit for duty, and I think that scares a lot of them, and they don't want all that training and all that they've gone to do to become a police officer to be taken away because they're depressed or they're going through a divorce and they're on edge. Like, they don't want that to happen. Better evaluation, yes. Less spouse abuse when they get home. I do know, I've heard statistics. I haven't heard official statistics, and that's probably honestly that's probably a really hard thing to get statistics on because say your spouse, because male or female, this could happen. Your spouse is a police officer, and they've had a rough day. You said the wrong fucking thing, and they fucking hit you. Whatever. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna call their fellow cop friends to come help you? Sometimes that works. Sometimes, because I actually saw a video where a guy beat his wife apparently so badly she was in the hospital. So when it was his time to come in for his shift, his fellow cops were like, "Hey man, come on, hey man, yeah, we were just getting some coffee." And they kind of lure him into the room, and when they do, they put his hands behind his back, cuff him, and they start cutting his uniform off of him. They take his badge off first and cut his uniform off him. Because apparently that is one of the most insulting things, the most degrading thing another cop can do to another cop, basically, is not only they arrested him, they cut his uniform off his body. Like, I mean, they left his pants, I mean, obviously, but they cut the shirt, took off the badge, I mean, stripped him of his copness, because that's how bad he beat her. But not every police department would do that. A lot of times they want to back each other up. And that backing each other up is fantastic in a war zone. Not in a civilian environment necessarily. And unless we're going to have a war in the streets, they're taking this brotherhood a wee bit far. But I have heard that police are more likely to do it, and I think because unfortunately, some people, if they think or know they can get away with something, they'll do it. And usually, being a police officer or somebody in authority, someone of power, not just the police, because we can't just attack the police on this. I mean, it can be somebody who owns a really important company, someone who's got connections. Like any of them, if they think they can be above the law and not suffer consequence, they'll be more likely to be bold and do something like that. And that is definitely an issue. That's just human behavior, though. It's not unique to police. You need to start looking at police like people, not uniforms. Well, they need to start seeing themselves as people as well. Because, both sides, it just keeps going. It's like us against them because of things they do. And then they feel like it's them against us because we don't like, stuff they do. It's a mess. You need to start looking at police. I've seen a video of a New York officer planting cannabis in someone's car. He turned his body cam off, but he did it, and it was caught on the other officer's camera. I saw something similar to that. It was somebody was running. I don't remember what the situation is, but I think they were like in an alley. I didn't get much of the picture, and the cop thought he had turned his camera off, but apparently it kept recording. I guess he must have done it wrong or whatever. And you see him go from this angle because you can only see like this. So you see him with a bag of what looks like some kind of powder. It could be coke, heroin, it could be whatever. And he puts it under this little piece of trash, this little Pepsi can, and then goes, "Hey, look, I found something." And he picks it up. But his body cam fucking caught him doing it, and he got in trouble. I think he got fired. I think he actually got fired for that. I don't, unless you have radioed in that you're going to the bathroom. As long as you are on, because I understand not, having anyone to be able to see you take a piss. I get that. But, yeah, if you've pulled someone over, your camera doesn't go off. Absolutely not. Now, if you're on break and you're going to go use the bathroom for a few minutes, yeah, you can get permission to have your camera turned off. People do have a right to privacy in the bathroom, I get it. And then, get yourself like a coffee, a burger, whatever. And then when your break's over, radio back in that you're turning your camera back on, you're back on duty, boop, comes back on and does not come off till your shift is finished. That's the way I think it should be. Japanese police go into homes of people in the precinct to eat with them and establish rapport. That, as long as they're invited, that sounds like that could be good because if you know someone, if you start to get to know your fellow person, your fellow citizen, neighbor, people who live in the same town with you, you get to know them better. You get an idea of what they will or will not do. You're less likely to hurt somebody if you're somewhat familiar with them. There's a hesitation, and hopefully there's a hesitation on their side as well. They're hopefully less likely. You're like, I'm pissed, but man, I've known this guy for 3 years, so that the idea that BL Group just said could be good. Or if I'm not fond of the idea of police being in my house, not even as a nice visit, because no, but if there could be something more often in the community, like go to a park and there'd be like little picnic and little hot dogs and have like a little community thing where police are like, giving like ice creams to kids, and people standing around talking, they get to chatting. I think they should try doing that once every like 2 months, weather permitting, of course, because Oklahoma, you can never be too sure. It gets cold. It's like summer one day and it's winter the next. I just saw the thumbnail about the plants. Oh. Well, welcome, Meow Cat. Yeah, that little joke on poor TJ. Yeah, poor guy. Very old cop. This badge and gun don't make a police officer. You have to respect people. True. You have at least some base, some decent like foundation of civilized respect and behavior for another person. Is a seriously good start to build on. Kitty, if you seize the chance to do so, you should check out a video called 91-Year-Old Cop Has No Plans to Retire. That is boss. That is boss. I hope to, honestly, yeah, if there's like a situation going on and a 91-year-old cop approaches me, I'm not prone to like being violent on anyone, not cops or anyone. I might shit talk. Depending on the situation, I might give you good shit talking. But if the cop is 91 years old, probably gonna watch what I say because I was raised to if they're old enough to be your parent or grandparent, certain things you just don't say or do. I would feel less threatened by him and be like, yes, sir. As long as it's reasonable. As long as it is reasonable. Because, like, yeah. But, yeah, I'd feel less, on my guard if it's, like, a little old man trying to talk to me. I'd be like, yes, sir. Yes, I'll sit down. Like, that would work on me. That would. Definitely. That's a good ancient one. I've seen it. That's good, Philip Blair. More people should as well. And yes, definitely, if you find that, tweet that around. Like, that would really make that trend a little bit. That would be good. See? Then, yes, the thumbnail about the plants. So I make sure I was all caught up there. Sometimes, like, I'll look at somebody in the chat will just jump on me, like, kind of sudden-like. And so, former Baltimore police officer Michael Wood on John Rogan is great. Speaking of Baltimore police, I actually don't know if this is the same cop or not. But there was a Baltimore police officer. It may have been 6 to 10 years ago. I can't quite remember. But there was corruption in the police department, and he tried to basically tell the truth, and his fellow police officers basically, excluded him from activities. I think they left threatening, fucked up notes in his locker. They just made it a hostile work environment to the point where he had to completely leave the Baltimore Police Department. And I don't know if he stayed in Baltimore or if he moved. I don't know. But yeah, the guy at the time, he must have been maybe 30, maybe. And sorry, I still got some sniffly thing going on. Anyway, but yeah, so like when people said there's like, oh well, there's good cops and there's bad cops. Oh, yeah, a lot of times, unless you happen to be very lucky, sometimes you're at least complicit in knowing that someone in your department did something bad, but you don't say nothing. Like if someone in this house committed a serious crime, I'm not talking about little shit, but like a serious crime, and I knew about it and I didn't say anything, I'd go to jail. Not them. People need to realize that they're not above the law, that they need to be held accountable. I mean, they're supposed to work for and with the citizenry, not above them. I mean, a hint of authority, just so you can be like, kind of like a coach at a soccer team. Like, he has authority over them, but he shouldn't, like, beat the shit out of them or, like, take their stuff. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's ways of using your authority without being like a dick. For a few years before the idea of trying to be governor, I actually thought, because in certain small towns, at least here in Oklahoma, sometimes because the town is small enough, you can volunteer to be a fireman or a fire person, whatever you want to call it, and volunteer police force. And I actually thought about the only issue I had is that it's like an hour one way to like this town called Dibble. They have a police force, but I think it's at the time it was literally like 5 cops. That was it. That was their police department was 5 cops. I think. Like, it's not like if you look up Dibble, Oklahoma, Dibble, it is a tiny little fucking place. Anyway, and so like I think the last I saw they had like 5 cops. This was back in like 2007, 2008. So they might have 6 now. But anyway, like places like that, they have volunteers, and I thought it'd be cool because, like in some ways I'd be like the best cop, I think, but also in some ways the worst. It depends, because I would not be like going after people for quotas and trying to extort them and do all this. Like I'd be like, but also I don't people well, and so I feel weird knocking on someone's door and be like, you need to keep the music down, and then be like, especially when someone mentioned earlier that drinking can cause more of a situation than someone on weed. So if this person is like nasty intoxicated and mean, I kind of don't want my teeth knocked down my throat because I told him to turn his music down. So like not sure how to handle that confrontation. I don't know what that is. All right, hold on. In my humble opinion, members of the KKK should no longer be allowed to become police officers. Um, I think that's a hard thing to prove. Like, I mean, it's not like they run around in those silly sheets anymore. So, like, um, I mean, if there are members that are police, yes, they should. Like, I don't normally try to tell people what they can do in their off time, but I think that's just that should not. Yeah, that's ugly optics. I don't like. I think I would just have them excuse. Like, if there was proper evidence, I think I'd just have them excused from the police force, because if you join a group like that, you're inherently an asshole at that point. Like, it's pretty much a guarantee that you are. And even if you were to, like, I guess, relinquish your membership to the KKK, the person you were that made you want to sign up in the first place, you're still going to be. And I don't think that person should be in uniform, to be honest. So, yeah. If there are members of the police that are that, then yeah, they should not be. They should not be. Like, yeah. John Doe, I'm on the fence about the George Floyd thing. I don't think the cop murdered him because that's premeditated. No, 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 no. There is still murder, even if it's not premeditated. It's still murder. I think it was involuntary because he abused his daughter. No, it was not involuntary. He purposely pulled this guy out who was almost crying, a grown man crying. That felt so bad. And he's like, please stop, and he was trying to force him into a cop car. He's like, I'm claustrophobic, please stop, because he was feeling closed in. And when you're panicking and you feel closed in, you panic. And, like, so being slammed on the ground, which is no fun, adds to the panic. So, but yeah, if you killed somebody, like if someone's like, because from what I understand, a paramedic showed up and saw George Floyd on the ground, and he was like, I need to attend to him. The cop threatened the paramedic. That's not involuntary. We can't be saying K and K in text chat. Yeah, well, I mean, if we're speaking negatively about it, it should be okay, but let us be careful, because I do not like my stream shut down and them getting worked up because like YouTube's program will pick up certain words and phrases and not have it in proper context. We're speaking against them, not for them, but YouTube is stupid. So BL Group is right. We should probably be careful and just call them. I don't know what to call them. Maybe just K's, like K and like a little S. YouTube is flipping. Yeah, YouTube is stupid. YouTube gets out of pocket. They've gotten very wild with their censorship. Like, I heard of a YouTuber a couple of years ago who got like a copyright claim, and it was his fucking image. Like, someone else was trying to claim him. Like, how do you do that? I don't know. The guy told the guy not to work on him. I didn't know. Oh, yeah. Apparently, I can't remember if it was threatening with him with taser or pepper spray, but apparently he like threatened the paramedic. Like, at that point, that's not an accident. That's absolutely on purpose. Yeah, and like, I mean, I understand doing a nice full investigation and make sure everything can. YouTube is flipping to keep blocking. Yeah, other people are able. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're censoring on YouTube because I don't have my phones. All I see is StreamYards here, and so I see your chat fine as far as I know of. And the other Ks were allowed in, so I think it just picks and chooses who it picks on, which is YouTube, to be honest. But yes, I agree that they, like, any member of that should not become a police officer. Absolutely. Like, if they were, like, if there is any proof that they relinquished, I put them through. Yeah. Sorry, my nose. Like I said, I got this like sinus thing. You ever have this sinus thing where your nose is not really running? It's not fully stuffy, but somewhere like right back here in this area in between, it's just kind of stuck. So yeah, I kind of got that going on. But anyway, you put their comments through. Got you. Okay. Yeah, well, because they want to make sure that people aren't coming in and trolling and saying grossly offensive, inappropriate things, so it'll pick up certain keywords and not allow it through. I don't believe Steven Crowder. He's a bully. Oh, he's a bully's bully, cruel as fuck. Crowder is wrong on his defensive. I have not heard his stance on that, so I can't comment personally, as he is on his paranoid hatred of cannabis. Maybe Steven Crowder is just upset that maybe his girlfriend left him for a dude who smokes weed. Maybe that's his whole fucking issue. I don't know. Like if he doesn't like weed, then don't fucking smoke it. It's just that easy. I think Steven Crowder's really funny. I think he's funny on a lot of things. But if he's really this bad about cannabis, I think he's wrong. So, but I don't think he should be deplatformed for it, because there's plenty of like science and people's personal testimonies about how much cannabis has helped them. That, like, I think the evidence speaks for itself. So I think he should not have been deplatformed for it, because we have so much cannabis support. We've not had this much cannabis support and it being considered socially okay in nearly 100 years. So Steven Crowder is just whatever he says about it's just gonna fall in most deaf ears. And those who don't already had their opinion anyway, and they just like what he says. They're gonna think what they're gonna think. Anybody who knows anything about cannabis are not gonna magically change their mind because of Steven Crowder. Just fucking not. I keep having to reload the YouTube. Dude, I have to do that sometimes too. It is fucking annoying. You know how it like lags somewhere and just yeah. I watch Crowder, but at the same time as more, I didn't know his stance on the Derek guy. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go look. I'd have to like Google that and find out. Hey man, he wasn't deplatformed. I checked. Okay, because I thought okay, I was under the impression he was, because I guess what you said led me to believe that that was the case. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think he should be deplatformed for it. I think he's wrong, but I mean, there's lots of people who probably think I'm wrong, but I don't think I should be deplatformed. As long as you're not trying to incite a riot or like something that incites violence against people, I really don't think you should get deplatformed. I mean, I don't think the Earth is flat, but I wouldn't rally a bunch of people to deplatform people for thinking that the Earth is flat. If they want to think that, that doesn't affect my life. That does not hurt me in any way. If you want to think that, not rock out, do it. I'm good on that. Are you on the same? You're on. Oh, I forgot. That's right. Slasher is on his thing. I think he got banned for a week or something. No, I'm picturing Steven Crowder throwing a tantrum, screaming, "How could you have left me for that party?" Yeah, it's possible. It is possible. But all right, yeah, let's go check out. Actually, let me just type this in. If the Earth was truly flat, we'd all be pulled to. If the Earth was truly flat, cats would have knocked everything off the edge by now. We should go visit him and swing in, say hi. I am gonna open another tab and go like check out what Slasher's up to, because we should show him some support. Like he's been in this as long as me. In fact, I actually kind of dragged him into this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of talked him into starting to stream and do this and that, and like visit him. He's got 3 people visiting him. I think he's playing a video game, judging by the thumbnail, which I'm not a big fan of video games. We should show him love anyway. Oh, he's got quite a few people on, actually. Is that what Kirsch looks like? Holy shit. I had no idea what Kirsch looked like. This is the first time I've ever actually seen his face. Oh my god, it really is. I've never seen him without some kind of puppetry or avatar. Holy shit. He's got Sentinel on there. Holy shit. But yeah, let's all swing over there and start dropping a bunch of likes on him. His voice does not fit his face. Is that weird? Like, is that a weird thing to say? Because yeah, I pictured him to be like a weirder, smaller little guy for his voice. He's. I see those likes going up. Y'all are awesome. Yeah, drop some comments. Tell him hi. My spacebar is not working. I think someone spilled something on my spacebar, so like doesn't fully push down. So meow. That's it. Yes, drop those likes. Show that love. Let's see if we can get a solid 10 of likes. More raid. Yes, John Doe. Haha. Let's see if we can get like from where I stand at least. Oh, there's 10. We got 10 likes. Nice. Awesome. If we can get more, that's good, but that's still pretty cool. We at least got a nice solid 10. I sent more and more. She sent people over. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Gabe reminded me because I got so wrapped up in this whole ethics conversation about the system. I kind of forgot that poor Slasher was going on in a few minutes. I gotta get comfy. Jen's petter is a little hard to understand. I think he's a little close to the microphone. Maybe. He might be a little old as well. That's also possible. Yes. There's 6 people over here, so y'all are like looking up. Who are you looking at? Oh, sorry. Yes, right here. Yes. Or this, if you want to read less. Yeah, we're visiting his stream. Like he had like 3 or 4 people, so we went over there, dropped a bunch of likes, we're saying hi to him. Yeah. Make him feel, loved and supported. Hold on. This. That is the channel we are at. You just type it in. He's the only slasher McSplitter. And it says Midnight Fatality is the name of the stream. 12 likes. Nice. Nice, y'all. They love talking about some like 80s and 90s sci-fi and like action films, which is nothing wrong with it. It's just not something I normally talk about. If someone brings it up, I'll discuss it, sure. But It's one of those things I have to go get caught up in a whole bunch of like those movies. Because so often like there's movies I haven't seen in like 20 or 30 years, so I don't even think about them. 13 likes. Very nice. Nice to see. Heck yes. Enemy Mine. I see they were talking about that. I saw the video cover and I think I saw some of the previews, but I never really watched it. It just seemed like a really weird Dennis Quaid film. Hey, Banging Gears, how are you? We're over here at Slasher McSplitter's channel. We're over on another tab. We're dropping him some likes and saying hi and showing some love and support. How are you doing, handsome? It is super great to see you. You missed a whole like hour or so conversation. We were talking about, well, basically the ethics of everything. Uh, the police being trained better, like to have every police officer go through hostage negotiation training so they can learn how to try to de-escalate situations. Not to say they don't have a right to defend themselves, but if something could be made better, why not? The ethics on drug laws and how a lot of our original drug laws were based on racism, whole oodles of things. Like it was a fairly deep conversation for an hour 36 minutes. To be honest, it wasn't funny. It was weird. I mean, to be fair, I think I was 12 when I saw it. It was weird. I have not watched it. Like I'm a fan of Dennis Quaid, but like that just looked weird. I just wasn't feeling the preview. The preview has to lure me in. It's gotta like get my attention and be like, ooh, that looks good, you know. Although sometimes that was a fail because sometimes they put the best parts of the movie in the preview, and then when you see the movie, then you're like, oh, fuck, they use all the good stuff they have for the preview. And so, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Our dear Banging Gears works in the evenings and nights. I think he told me what he does, but I forgot, I think. But nonetheless, we welcome him. Anyway, but yes, we are over at Slasher's channel, dropping likes and comments and, you know, being supportive. 13 likes, yay! Perhaps we can get a couple more. That'd be pretty sweet. I love that everybody's got at least 2 tabs open and they're doing this. I love it. Like y'all are here, but y'all are over there. Now I have 8. Wow. Like a few more have popped over here. Like what? That's crazy. It's funny, crazy, but I love it. Like it's awesome. What in the fluff is this? Oh, it's liquid latex. Yeah, for like to make special effects, like cuts and stuff. You should probably shake it now and then because if you let it settle for too long, it gets kind of funky and you can't use it. So I should probably shake it up so it stays better longer. I don't know when I'm gonna ever need it. Like, but Joe Bob. Oh my God, Joe Bob Briggs, dude, bro, yes. Things you can count on for watching wild movies. Rhonda Shear, Gilbert Gottfried, and Joe Bob Briggs. Yes. Yes. I loved how he had that lawn chair and that old looking camper van and sitting there just like talking about movies and shit. It was great. And speaking of movie commentary, let us not forget Mystery Science Theater 3000. The original, not the weird remake they have. They started a reboot of it like I think last year, and I saw some of it. I'm just like, it just wasn't. It wasn't. I wasn't feeling the magic. I really wasn't. Ow. Oh, I keep forgetting Sentinel's voice is always like disguised. I always forget that. Oh, my back. Oh, my back is killing. It's so weird to see Kirsch's TWTG content space. It's weird. I've never seen him in non-puppet form. That is fucking weird. What happened? I think my internet cut out, so like it blanked on me. I'm like, USA Up All Night. Yeah, but the way Rhonda did, she's like USA Up All Night, like she did that little, as she did it, like she was such a goofball. Like I remember being like 13, 14, and I always had trouble sleeping. Like he's like Monsieur, right? I know, right? Like I kind of wanted to be her, but like smarter because she was a little bit of this. She's probably actually a really smart person. Her character, the persona she put out was probably just ditzy because that was expected of the 80s and 90s. It had ditzy blondes. It's like it was entertainment. So can't hate the game, or you can't hate the player. So, but yeah, I remember, like, they had such cheesy ass movies. I remember one, and sometimes the longer the title, the cheesier the movie. I'm starting to come to this conclusion. It depends on how it's done. I mean, it's not always the case. There was one in particular that was so funny and stupid. Like, it has Bill Maher in it. If you can imagine, like, a 30-year-old Bill Maher. Yes. Yes. And has, I can't remember her name, but she married Gene Simmons. She's a blonde chick. Shannon Tweed. And the movie is called, I may have to say this slowly so you can write this down because it's quite a title. Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death. If that doesn't just scream cheese, I don't know what does. That is one of the movies I remember her having on. And I was just like, oh my god, this is a dumbass film. But I watched it. And I taped it. I even taped it with VCR and tape. Yes, I taped it. Because I just thought, like, this is so dumb. And the title is so cheesy. I've got to keep this. And, it also had that one chick that everybody thought was super hot back in the like 80s. She was in The Fog. She had like black hair. Adrienne Barbeau. Adrienne Barbeau is in this. So Adrienne Barbeau, Shannon Tweed, some chick, I don't know who the fuck she was, and Bill Maher. No shit. If that's not an all-star cast for the late 80s, early 90s, I don't know what is. To be honest. Like, oh man, I wonder if we could actually get away with watching that. Like, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, it's probably copywritten, but it's probably so bad, I don't think anybody would want to claim it. I've seen that movie cover. I have not. I never saw the movie cover, but it was on USA Up All Night, and I recorded it. And for all I know, it could be in the box of video cassettes that I have. Oh, it's up there now. Possibly, maybe. Gene Simmons and Shannon Tweed were married. Yes. Well, I don't know if I think they got married after being together for like 15 years. They were together like 15, 20 years and then got married. I think. They were like had a short like reality show for a little while where it just kind of showed their life. VHS recording. Yes. VHS recording. The Professionals, 1966. I'm going to have to look that up because I actually don't know what that is. This is my mother's handwriting. Not that you can tell because green screen. Yeah, there's no telling what all I got in here. Look at paperwork. Air Force One, Absolute Power. This is blank, which makes me want to check it when no one's looking. Because I don't know what it is. Undercover Blues. Undercover Blues is a Dennis Quaid movie that is fucking cute and funny. I like it. They're like two I think it's a Western. The Professionals? I mean, I guess it's possible, but it sounds like a bunch of hitmen. But anyway, do you remember Nightstand with Dirk Dietrich? Or the Nightstand? It doesn't sound familiar at all. But yeah, this has Undercover Blues, and it's a 1993 movie. If you want to check imdb.com for Undercover Blues, 1993, It is a cute movie. It's before Kathleen Turner started looking less attractive. To be fair, she's like 60 now, so I mean, I can't give the woman too much hassle. But Dennis Quaid doesn't seem to age much. Very weird. A Chuck Norris movie. Yes. Forced Vengeance, 1982. We have the good shit over here. Say it. This tape got broken. Event Horizon. I didn't realize that came out at a VHS time. Apparently it's been out for a while. Dark Shadows. Okay. Just in case those who do not know or do know, Dark Shadows was a show that was originally played in the mid to late 60s. And it was about a vampire. Anyway. And then they did a reboot in 91, 92-ish. March 1994, originally aired in March 1991. She actually even added that. So, okay. Oh, Captain KG, how did you say goodnight when you didn't even talk to us? That's not cool. You gotta stay and chat. I got Blockbuster over here, man. Anyway, Dark Shadows. But I like the remake, the 1990s version of it better than the original. And then when they made that movie with Johnny Depp of Dark Shadows, that was just fucking weird. It was just it was just, if there's any Chuck Norris has to learn from someone, it's Sagata Sanchirio. Don't know who that is. Hello, Retro Diamond, and how are you and welcome. The Dark Shadows was a black and white. I remember that show. The beginning, when Dark Shadows first started, it was in black and white. And then, as the show progressed, it started going into color. So it originally did start out in black and white, yes. But I don't know what season it was in when it started going into color, but it was just around that era where shows were starting to do that. So, but I wasn't digging the actors and stuff in the original one. I watched some of it, but I just wasn't getting it. I was like, eh. And then the one in the 90s came up, and I was like, I like that better. And Johnny Depp, as long as no one expects to take the movie seriously, it was okay, but I think it could have been better. But Johnny Depp is just kind of Johnny Depp, so. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He just has his own way. Excuse me, sorry. But, yeah, I used to have way more tapes than that. I think they're either in the attic or, maybe they're under there. Not entirely certain. At some point, I really should just gather them up and have a little shelving unit just for the tapes. I should. That requires organization. I like the discipline for that. Sweet it. I'm amazed that John Doe remembers that. Well, I don't actually know how old John Doe is, to be fair. Sagata Sanshiro is a Japanese dude who beats people up for not playing Sega Saturn back in his plan worked. Well, I guess I'd play a game too if someone's going to kick my ass. And I really don't want my ass kicked. And now these days, I'm at the age where I'm too old. I'm too young to die, but I'm too old to get my ass kicked situation. But that's a weird concept, going around beating up people who don't play video games. It's weird. It's like a weird sales gimmick kind of idea. Oh, okay. You must have caught it on the reruns then, because yeah, I'll be 40 at the end of September, so we're born on this pretty much. We're pretty much the same age, unless your birthday's coming up. But if not, then yeah, we were born the same year, so we probably have a lot of similar memories. Thank goodness for reruns, because gets us caught up on the shit we didn't see before we were born. So, but oh man, I was gonna drop my PayPal link and I totally forgot. Now we're like almost 2 hours in, so I'm like, they have like, oh wow. Actually, I don't know if Retro Diamond. Well, John Doe might know. Blair might know. Yeah, most of y'all probably know I'm trying to run for governor. Even though I have like a year to like do this, like, well, that's when the window opens to uh to put file in and put your name on the ballot. But I'm assuming politicking and peopling is going to be required before this to get some kind of rapport. I do not. I'm sorry. I'll try to jump on earlier next time. Well, okay. Well, at least you stayed for a bit, so I feel a little bit better. Okay, you didn't just do a drive-by and run off, like and pew, gone. So I feel a little better. At some point, we're gonna have to go back and troll like the North Pole or some shit. We'll have to do that. Or some deserted island where nobody lives and just like put up weird ass reviews. We'll have to do that again. For some reason, that was strangely fun. Weirdly fun. It's crazy, but Sagata, we'll just call it Sagata. I'm tired of trying to pronounce that. Appeared in those Japanese-only commercials where he's seen doing crazy stuff. I've seen some of those commercials, and they are weird. Like, I don't know, they're different. Chinese and like Japanese commercials are very peculiar. Japanese particularly are strange. Like not them, but the commercials are. They probably find our commercials weird too, to be honest. Sometimes I find our commercials weird. Like some shit will be going on, and I have absolutely like no idea why it has anything to do with the product you try to sell. It's like, but. I wonder how long I should do this. Because the moment you brought up Chuck Norris, it reminds me of him fighting Sagata Sharo in one of those old animated fights. How did Chuck Norris fight an animated character? Did I miss something? I remember in Oklahoma it was called Showbiz Pizza in the 80s. Dude, Showbiz Pizza. Where a kid can be a kid. I think that was their motto. I think. Or it's Chuck E. Cheese where a kid can be a kid. It's a tough call, but I vaguely remember a little bit of Showbiz Pizza. But then I know we started getting we have a Chuck E. Cheese. We have like one Chuck E. Cheese that I know of in the entire state of Oklahoma. And it's on the south side of Oklahoma City. And like near I-240. Since you said I remember in Oklahoma, so you'll know where I-240 is. So I don't know. I don't go over that part of town much, so I don't even know if it's still there or if it like the pandemic has got it closed down. I have like no clue at all because like when you go to Chuck E. Cheese, you can pretty much guarantee every kid's hands are sticky. There's junk everywhere, and everyone's touched the food. Just saying. You want to go somewhere to toughen up your immune system? Chuck E. Cheese. Most certainly. Hey, Sunny Cat, what are you doing awake? We're sure up all weird ass hours, just like I am. I'm not sure why I'm asking that, but welcome nonetheless. Hello. Oh, if you want to be a doll, though, if y'all want to be like the ones that are here, like if y'all want to be a doll and you haven't done it already, I think we only have 2 left phones. 2 left. Phones are more entertaining now. True. Honestly, I would definitely rather sit there on my phone and read or play Bubble Shooter than deal like an entire building full of screaming kids and like pizza on the floor and spilt drinks. Yeah. And some weird rat. Actually, I don't know if the rat does anything now, but I remember used to like sometimes they would have like an animatronic mouse, and they have like this little band thing going on the stage, kind of like a little music thing. But they were animatronic, and also somebody would go around in a mouse costume. I remember. Oh yeah, I remember one time my parents sent me to Chuck E. Cheese for my birthday. They may have done it more than once, but it's just one particular time. And I think I was might have been 12, 11 or 12. I don't know. Sue me, okay? Anyway, and so, but I thought I was, and he tried to give me a birthday hug, and I'm like, and I thought I was too cool to like hug the mouse. And the mouse goes like this and looks all sad. It was so cute. My mom's like, "Oh, give him a hug." So I did. I was like, "Okay." He looked like you just see him just kind of wilt and just look down. I was like, "Oh, I made the mouse sad." I was like, "Shit." So I gave him a hug, or them a hug. I mean, you can't tell if it's a guy or a girl under there, obviously, but. If I remember correctly, Chuck E. Cheese started having money issues around 2014, and the pandemic began. They decided to close all it. Yeah, like in Oklahoma though, maybe like Oklahoma didn't lock down like a lot of places did, so it might be okay. I don't know. There wasn't a Chuck E. Cheese in Oklahoma until in the 80s. For some reason, it was Showbiz Pizza. That's what. Yeah, that's why. Because I moved to Oklahoma in like 1988. Uh, and so I may have caught just the tail end of Showbiz Pizza, and then it became like us starting to have Chuck E. Cheese. So it's probably why like it's a very faint memory of it. Because we probably caught the like tail end of that. Do I remember Polaroid cameras? Bro, yes. Does anybody remember 110 film cameras? Those little long, narrow ones that were like this? Fucking loved those. But yes, I have had a Polaroid camera before. Yes, I have. Oh, those are so. Now you just get your phone out and take a picture. Much easier too, because you don't have to worry about lugging around a camera. But yes, in fact I have a fair amount of a few Polaroids of my parents because they had one too. Philip Blair has returned. Yay! Oh my God, I left Oklahoma in 1988, dude. We're just like right past each other. Your parents took you away, and my parents brought me here. Ha! Holy crap. That would have been weird if we'd met, though. That would have been crazy. You probably would have picked on me in like first grade. You probably would have. You totally would have. That's wild, though. What schools? Like, what part of Oklahoma were you in? Oklahoma City? So, what elementary school did you go to? Like, I'll totally laugh. It's like the same elementary school I went to. Because there was actually like a few. There was like, I think it was like 2 or 3 elementary schools I went to. I was in Dibble Elementary for a short while, then Blanchard Elementary, and then Apollo Elementary. Lovecraft Country was awesome. I'm looking forward to season 2. I don't even know. Okay. I'm guessing it's a show because you said season 2, so I'm guessing it's a show. But I've not watched cable in so long. I can't. Part of it was in Oklahoma. Oh, right on. It's kind of hard to picture something. The word Lovecraft and Oklahoma in the same sentence is a little weird. That would have been crazy. We might have. I would have looked way different. I would look like totally geeky with a gap between my teeth, and like my parents dressed me, and that didn't go well. So, and it didn't look like I ever knew how to brush my hair. So, if you noticed me at all, you would have picked on me, guaranteed. See, now I want you to Twitter me like a picture of you as a kid and see if you look familiar. Like Apollo Elementary sounds like this, right? But no, it was for I think it was a Greek reference. I think. Well, I'm trying to remember what was their mascot. Apollo. I think it showed like a Greek or Roman soldier. I think it was our like little mascot looking thing. Like we didn't actually have a mascot, but that was like the drawing next to it. Tulsa. I went to. Oh, I was not okay. Oh, I would have gone to Putman City High if I had stayed. Oh, I would have gone to Putman City if like I had gone to high school. I was like I was in junior high at Mayfield, and I just yeah. Long story into that, but I ended up getting my GED at 16. I was like, fuck this place. So I didn't go to high school. I dropped out when I was 14, and then like took a couple of year hiatus, and then got my GED. I'm like, fuck this. But I knew a couple of people who did go to Putnam City High though. And as far as Tulsa, that's wild because I just got back from Tulsa today because I'm working on this documentary that about Tulsa. Well, not about the whole Tulsa, but like the fact they had the largest race riot in U.S. history, and some of the spicy details that get left out of a lot of those documentaries. So I was in Tulsa just today, actually. According to the decline of Chuck E. Cheese, what happened? But the company man, he mentioned that he said the company was in debt around. As much as they charge for food and drinks and parties, how the hell are you in debt for 400 million? Holy, someone mismanaged the money badly. Holy shit. Hello, MJ. It's weird to call you MJ. It really is. Yes, Jetty. Jetty is so much easier to say. MJ is just weird. Like, because he was like Mega Jetty 1 or Mega Jetty, and then Jeffrey, and then now it's this. And it's like, yikes. Maybe you were too smart for public school at the time. I just didn't fit in. Like, it's not that I learned more out of school than I did in school. Like, I guess I just didn't learn the way everyone else did. Sorry, like that snuffly thing. Oh, you just call me Sniffle. But I don't know. Like, I think in some ways I was too smart. In other ways I was kind of dumb. But yeah. But in 2014, the debt raised to over $1 billion once Apollo Global Management bought out Chuck E. Cheese. Holy shit. Sorry for all the rebranding. I was trying to find my thing. I have it now. Well, very good. Like, I can understand rebranding. Like me, I just kind of stuck with Mora Kitty because that's what people in real life call me that know me. They call me Mora or Kitty or both. So I just kind of, yeah. It just seems like my personality does better on here than it does in real life. I don't know. I know, it's weird. I'm like, I guess I'm just in a weird way, like, strangely entertaining that it works, like, on a platform like this, but not so much in real life. Like, cracking jokes or talking about certain things, and people are just like, they don't know what to make of you in person. That's always been my issue, though. Like, people don't know what to make of me. Dang, I couldn't believe I missed you more. We could have grew up together. Yeah, that would. Well, that might. I don't know. Like, that might have been good. That might have been not good because I was a weird kid. You might not have liked me. I don't know. See, yeah. See, all right. So, John, now you have to find me on Twitter, and you have to send me a picture of what you look like now, and you have to send me a picture of what you look like when you were like in 1988. And I will. Well, you already know what I look like now, but I will dig around and try it because somewhere I have a picture of me on my 7th birthday. That was my first birthday in Oklahoma, so that was 1988. I look like such a spaz. I do. I look like such a spaz. But if I find it, I will send you that picture. Or a picture of a picture, technically. But, so, we could have watched USA Up All Night together. My parents would have, especially my mother, would have kept walking in nonchalantly to the kitchen to keep an eye on us had you stayed over. The idea of a boy stay over would have been weird. I was weird. I was weirder. It's really hard to measure that because unless we were around each other, it's really hard to say. But I was weird. I managed to complete my Lethal Weapon film review. Damn, he got hit with a bogus copyright claim, but managed to win the appeal in 13 hours. Nice. Put your stuff on Odyssey. They don't have the copyright yet. Films are fine. What is I don't know what Odyssey is. Someone is going to have to explain that to me. I'll dig up some old 80s pics. Awesome. Yes, because you need to be about 7 or 8 years old. Because that's about the age I was in the pictures I can find. And, like, we'll exchange embarrassing, like, kid pictures of ourselves and go, hey, I do know you. Well, any younger than that, and I lived in New Orleans, so that's just off the... So, yeah. So I'll have to find stuff from, like... There, like, that wasn't a... We didn't really take a lot of pictures. Cause we just didn't. So, like, I don't have a bunch, but I have a few. And they're, like, in one of two places, so it shouldn't take me too long to find it. once I actually like get around to doing it. I'll have to remember. You'll have to send me like a Twitter message and remind me to do it. Be like, hey, you find this picture or something like that. We can safely say they were only able to pay off a little of the debt. Odyssey is a new type of YouTube. It has a lot more features. Oh my god, more shit to learn. Okay, I'll give it a shot then. Like I will give it a gander. I don't have my phone. Usually I have my phone with me so I can keep an eye on the actual Facebook chat because it goes like I see it before I'll see it here. So I'll have to go look into that. But yeah, Twitter that to me. Like if you can Twitter like the website link or something, Bianca, that would be cool. And I can take a gander at it. That's kind of wild that Odyssey lets you just get away with put whatever you want up there. I mean, as far as copyright, I mean that's kind of cool. Especially if it's older films, it's not like you're taking away from their box office sales. It's like an old movie, so I don't know why they get so uptight. I remember like a year or two ago, I think it was like 2019. Like me and Slasher, we were hanging out and we were showing like previews of like trailers for like movies from like the 80s and the 90s, like Terminator, Predator, and I got hit with copyright like strikes and shit. I was like, it's a preview, it's a trailer of a film. Everybody's either seen it or they're not gonna. Like, this wasn't ruining anyone box office sales. YouTube was being so petty. Whoever looks up Scranton, Pennsylvania area, look for Pizza by Papa's, Nina's 5-Star Pizza, Rosanna's Pizzas, and Royal Pizza. They're all great places. We have a Papa John's Pizza, but not Pizza by Papa's. Round Table Pizza is the best. I've never heard of that. Which is insane because many people would think that Chuck E. Cheese would be a good by making millions, but once they realized they were in $1 billion debt, they were screwed. How Peter Piper Pizza, dude, bro, we have Peter Piper. We have like I think we have one, but we have a Peter Piper Pizza. I'm fairly sure right near Tinker Air Force Base. It's within like 2 miles of Tinker Air Force Base. Like yeah. Yeah, trailers for movies that were like 30 plus years old. It's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was showing like a preview, and it's and it's on YouTube. They would send me a stupid complaint, and I would send them 2 or 3 complaints. For every complaint they sent me, I would send them like at least 2 back, explaining they were stupid for one, and 2, and be like, you don't own the rights to this either, and it's on your platform. So I am using previews of an old movie that's on your platform to show on my channel. So since you don't own the rights to that movie either, you should remove the previews. Because it wasn't like YouTube's channel of Universal Studios or whatever. So it was like a random person's channel who had it. So I'm like, if you allow it to stay up, don't give me any shit for it. Dickheads. I'm pretty sure that person didn't pay copyrights to have that on their channel. So, dang, I want a Peter Piper pizza. Where do you live? Oh wait, did you say you live in California now, or like you had moved to California, but like now you live somewhere else? Because what would be super cool is like if it could be done, and like some kind of almost like those insulated like little pizza pouches when they deliver your pizza. If we could like overnight a Peter Piper pizza to you. I don't know how much that would cost. Like I have no idea, but that would be like such a funny thing to do. Like if like money was not a problem, just like yeah, can you have this there by tomorrow? Like it'd be a little cold, probably have to heat it up, but still, sometimes leftover pizza tastes better. It's weird. I managed to get the Lethal Weapon trailer theme and worked it out in the review. Fair enough. It's weird. Like I'll see people and they'll be like showing previews of a movie and talking about it, but like if someone else does the exact same thing, they get in trouble and the other person doesn't. It's like serious injustice in the situation. I'm planning to get a sweet and sour chicken pizza. Oh, that sounds terrible. Basically, order a pizza and order Chinese sweet and sour chicken, and then at home put it on. Ah, bruh, bro, that sounds like some weird shit like a stoner would think of. Like when they're super baked, you'll be like, we got this and we got this. Let's see what happens when we put it together. Like that's how I'm visualizing this right now. Like, oh my lord. Oh my goodness. Y'all are too much. I love y'all, but sometimes y'all too much. But hold on. Actually, like, there's like a Windows 10 Enterprise something. I'm afraid to close it because someone else opened it. I have no idea what the hell they're doing with it, so I'm afraid to close it. So I won't. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Okay. Security challenge, really? Yeah. No, I'm not a robot, dumbass. And that's a big challenge. Are you a robot? No. Okay, cool. Okay. Alright, I'll accept the cookies. Just fuck off. Shh. Fuck off. Sorry. Alright. So, right here. Okay. Oh god, it's so early 90s. Oh my gosh. It's small doses, right? I feel like this is just out of pocket completely. Oh, anyway, so if y'all would like to contribute to me trying to run for governor, that would be wicked awesome, by the way. So, like, honestly, I'm not sure I really could do any worse than the last, like, 2 or 3 governors we've had, honestly. And, like, it's going to be weird because, as far as I know, there's no Democrat running for governor in Oklahoma. So, like, if I get into it, it's going to be, like, three Republicans fighting each other. And one of them is really bad. The other one's kind of half-assed and malleable. So, yeah, not accepting treats from strangers, including internet cookies. Normally I wouldn't, but PayPal is bugging me, so I was just like, fine, go away. But yes, if you'd like to show some love toward the campaign, or the funds so I can start campaigning, whatever. If you'd like to do that, that would be super, super awesome. If not, I understand, it's okay. Yeah. I figured it was worth a go. Like, the prerequisite seems to be pretty low. From what I can tell, you pretty much have to live here 10 years and be at least 31. Like, I got that more than covered. I got that. So. And I don't know, a lot of people are not really happy with Stitt right now. And there's a few people who don't like former Senator Yen, who wants to be governor. That dude gives zero shits about anyone's constitutional rights at all. Like, I know there's at least a few groups that are like pro freedom, pro constitutional, pro lots of rights that are actually against him. So, like, if they really get on the ball, they'll just knock him right out of the competition altogether. Like, it'll probably just be me and Stitt, honestly. And like, I'm gonna have to watch this guy, like, kind of watch him talk, see what kind of stuff he says, and then do better. Basically, just tell the truth, honestly, because I think I have a reasonably decent game plan for the most part. So, like, yeah. I mean, there's people I will appoint. Like, I'll appoint someone who's like, someone who's like good with ethics. Someone who's like I don't know, maybe have like make sure that like if there's a constitutional lawyer on hand to make sure the things I'm doing are acceptable. I mean, I'm actually going to try to repeal laws, not so much make them. We have so many fucking laws. Like, there's so many laws. So a lot of them, I'm probably going to either repeal the laws or do you have a campaign slogan? Probably nothing appropriate because it'd be like, let's fix this shit. But that might not go over so well with some people. I don't know. I don't know. It probably come up with something, I guess. So you end up winning, and despite being governor, you transform into a cat. What is your deal? Like, not gonna just transform into a cat in front of people. Okay. Campaign slogan. Fuck. I don't know. It needs to be something small but catchy. Like, but people don't like to. They don't want to read a whole fucking thing. Like, so we gotta be something like we can't like make Oklahoma good again or great again. Like we can't do that for obvious fucking reasons. So, uh, fuck, I don't know. What's that called? I don't know. Like it's time for a change, but I think someone had something similar to that before. Maybe it's time for something different. I don't know. That could be okay. Like time for something different because God knows I'm different. Fuck. Yeah, time for something different. Maybe that would work. Cause that would certainly explain my presence. You got all these empty suits running around and acting like they seem like a bunch of elitists. Even by Oklahoma standards, isn't really that high. But and then they try to pretend they're one of the people. Yeah. Hey, Container Man! Hi. We were just talking about campaign slogans and stuff. I like that one. You do? Cool. All right. So I guess like I should write shit down probably. I start making like notes for this shit. So yeah, in case Container Man did not campaign slogan, did I miss more running for governor? Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm working on that. It takes $2,000 to pay the filing fee to be put on the ballot. So yeah, I have a year. I have a year and a week to do that. Now, granted, that doesn't sound bad. It doesn't. Like it sounds like plenty of time, but I feel like a very finicky person because like once I have like the money, like the sooner I have the money, the sooner I feel like I can start, getting like those little signs made. Like any like little paper ones, I'll probably just design myself and print out on my own printer and not even bother with Kinko's. But like sometimes you just gotta go to Kinko's for some shit. But like little signs and put them up in different spots. I don't know. Remember Ross Perot? Yeah, Ross Perot though. Oklahoma, if it ain't sucking, it's blowing. Well, we're gonna try to fix that. I am going to try to fix that. Like I have some game plans in mind, but like I don't want to give away the whole game plan. How to? Somebody said something fabulous. All right. Campaign slogan. Time for something different. Because I mean, not wrong. We keep hiring the same kind of people. That's the slogan. it's not great, but so many have already been taken and been used over the decades. So I had to try something, and I am different. I'm makes yeah, but yeah, but not make Oklahoma great again. Like that's obviously So I mean, people who like Trump would probably like it, but I'm not trying to be red or blue as far as the way I would handle the office. I'd be more purple. So I'm not trying to piss off the blues, but I'm not trying to piss off the reds because for the most part, a lot of people want the same thing. They just can't agree on how to accomplish it. And I already understand I'm not going to be able to make everybody happy. So if we can at least 50-50 make everybody like, okay, yeah, and find some kind of reasonable compromise and things. Because I'm hoping in the next few days there's a councilman in Norman. He's a relatively young guy. And he's blue, like through and through. But like we kind of accidentally bumped into each other on Twitter where they were talking about the Oklahoma County Jail and the fucking shit show of a mess that it's been for such a long time. And he said something, and I'm like, hey, weren't they supposed to be audited? And they actually refused the audit. And he's like, holy crap, I forgot about. And so, like, I DM'd him, and he said that sometime during the week he'd be glad to meet for coffee and we could chat because I wanted to talk to him about politics and stuff. And so, like, it wouldn't hurt to have, like, a Democrat congressman or councilman in my corner because we're not going to agree on everything. But if we can agree on some stuff that's important, it's a start. And then, like, at some point, I need to start, like, kind of making nice with some Congress that are Republican as well and try to figure out both sides, figure out what people want, and see if we can work with that. Make Oklahoma the best state ever. No taxes. Let the horses run wild. We can put up more casinos. There's actually a fair amount of casinos in Oklahoma. To be fair, there's actually a fair amount. Let's see. We can't have no taxes. We can lower tax, like the middle class and lower class. We can reduce. I think. Well, that's a tough call because supposedly, and I do say supposedly, property tax is supposed to help pay for the schools. But technically, the lottery that they had put in was supposed to help with the schools. But the schools haven't gotten better, so I'm assuming that something has happened to the lottery money. I'll leave it at that because, again, I'm not giving away my entire game plan. But tax the filthy rich. I'm not sure if Oklahoma has filthy rich, to be fair. The Pirates of Penzance. Heard of it, didn't watch it. Sorry. Not getting political, just say that Trump didn't invent Make America Great Again, Reagan did it. Well, a lot of people didn't like Reagan or Trump. So, yeah. So, I think I'll stick with my slogan until I think of something better. Or I'll just stick with it, I don't know. But, I don't know. I don't know if we have filthy rich, but you gotta tax people very carefully. You have to tax them very carefully because if they're super filthy rich, they can just leave. So there's that. Taxes are what makes a nation what it is. Did you know, Ancient One, that before I think 1913, there was actually no income tax? Like whatever money you made, you kept. Now I can understand sales tax on certain things. Like I can understand certain sales tax for things that are like not super necessary, but and I think there should be a cap on the tax. Like within a certain amount of time, they cannot raise the tax. Like I think that should be controlled, kind of like rent control, but for tax. Like a person shouldn't be punished for owning a house or inheriting a house. They shouldn't be punished for this. Did you know all where Biden's slogan came from? Germany. I actually do not. I do not know what Joe Biden's slogan was. Like I actually have no clue what it is. I have no idea. Maybe not Reagan, but someone from years ago. Can't remember who my dad said. That's fair. I mean, you might be right. Oregon has no sales tax. That is weird. How are they managing this? Like what's their thing? Are they just increase the tax on other things instead to compensate for that? But but yeah, I would have to figure out how to build back better. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. I did hear that. I didn't remember. But yeah, that is familiar. That's an interesting point, Maura, because if someone who raises the taxes to extreme levels, that alone will cause citizens to question the one in charge. Exactly. But don't know how Oregon makes it work. Well, I mean, I live in Oklahoma, so I don't really know the like ins and outs of the systems of all the other states. So no, I don't know quite how they do it. Mm. But I think if I can get elected, I think it will take a little bit because there's certain research, possibly investigating, depending on what's going on. But like, I'll definitely do my best to sort out whatever is causing this bottleneck of bullshit. Like, that's causing things not to work out, and try to sort it out. I'll probably have some people mad at me, but some people might like me. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I already called a governor who wants to raise taxes to insane levels at a point and noticed commercials of people complaining about it. Yeah, I don't plan on doing that. Like, I'm not gonna be trying to raise taxes on people. Like, I'm not trying to do that. There's so much everything's being so taxed as it is that like what we need is to reallocate things carefully. Um, it might help if like, the politicians take a pay cut. I'm not sure if I can get away with that because not a single one of them will want to help me get reelected for sure. But there are funds for the community in the community, and I think they're not being allocated correctly. There it's disproportionate, so it's causing problems in some places and not in others. So like I'd have to sit down with some people and kind of look it over and see what can be sorted out. So maybe free up some of the money that might be accidentally, so to speak, finding its way into the wrong people's pockets that aren't supposed to be. So, so basically, that's a lot of the plan. Because there's money to be had. It's just the wrong people are controlling it. So, but yeah, I definitely plan on making some headlines. Yeah, and there's probably gonna be some people mad at me because like there's a few things I plan on tackling that might make waves, and some people might feel uncomfortable with it. So, but to be fair, I'm also, if I'm elected, I'm supposed to be working for the citizenry, not for the other politicians. Work with them, yes. Work for them, no. So, like, if bipartisanship is possible, I'm fine with it. But if it involves basically bowing at the knee, not so much. Well, I need to get some sleep. Good night. Good luck. Well, thank you, sweetheart. I hope you have sweet dreams. And actually, I should probably go lay down too, because my feet are a little puffy. So, super love y'all. Is Sasha still on? I'm gonna check. Is he still doing his thing? Yes. No. Maybe. Fuck. Let me refresh this. Because apparently I paused it. I meant to mute it. Apparently I paused it by accident. So I don't know. If he's still on, I would just encourage everybody to go over there. Oh yeah, they're still streaming. Yeah, they are still going. Sweet. Oh, he's only got one person watching. One people. Sorry. Ah, that dude's mouth is way too close to his microphone. Holy shit. Alright. I'm gonna close that down for now. Alright, so Yes. And have a good night to you as well. And I'll be laying down and being like in Slasher's chat just to show support. So if y'all want to go over there and participate and chat and Doug, you just missed me. Hey, you'll have to catch on the replay. There's a whole bunch of conversation about the ethics and how to like if I become governor, which I'm trying to become governor. So hold on, just in case you're feeling frisky and you want to help add to my trying to get money together to become governor, that would be awesome. Well, I think we already did that, but you can do that if you would like. And I'll lay down and I'll be in his chat and show support because right now they have like one person watching, and so we want to help encourage Slasher because he's like I dragged him into the YouTube game kind of, and like he's having a hard time. I mean, he finds people who likes what he likes, but it's not a lot. Like, plus he's a little shy about approaching people to invite them. Like once he actually does, and he gets used to them, they get used to him. Like it's all good, but like the meeting new people thing, you know. I can almost hear like "get out of here." I can almost hear that weirdly. But anyway, but lots of hugs, and I will see y'all over at Slasher Stream. Oh, just for Doug. My spacebar? Not my spacebar sticks. That is the name of the channel we will be at. I think everybody else knows, but just in case Doug doesn't know, I don't want him left out. So that is where we are going. I'm gonna be laying down. I need to rest. I need to put my feet up. Anyway, but lots of hugs to everyone and love y'all. Mwah.